So the third day of Wimbledon 2025 is over, and my once again we witnessed real bloodbath for the seeded players. What a Wimbledon championship it has been in terms of slaying of seeds in the first few rounds. This is that Wimbledon championship where 4 of the top 10 seeds in both men's and ladies section have been knocked out after the first round. This is the one where only 19 of the 64 seeded players have managed to advance to the second round, and this makes it the second fewest number of seeded players ever advancing to the second round at Wimbledon since the time the current format of seeding was introduced in 2001. This is the first instance in the Open era in Wimbledon Championship where top 2 of the 3 seeded players in the women's section have been knocked out on one day in the first round itself, when Coco Gauff and Jessica Pegula of US were knocked out on day 2. And that same tradition and same pattern continued on day 3 when seeded players continued to tumble. We lost 8 seeded players. It started in the men's section with number 12 seed Francis Tiafoe, a formidable player on all surfaces from US, losing in 4 sets to Cameron Norrie of Britain. The local lad, who is only 61 ranked, is an unseeded player, but then he is a formidable player on grass court. He has already reached one semi-final and he had massive fan following at the Wimbledon, and he managed to beat Tiafoe in 4 sets, and Tiafoe's dream was shattered yesterday. And then that was not the end. Afterwards, Jiri Lehecka, the 22 ranked men's seeded player, was knocked out by 75 ranked unseeded player from Italy, Mattia Bellucci. Then the bloodbath shifted to the ladies section. It started with 29 ranked Leila Fernandez of Canada losing to 104 ranked unseeded German Laura Sismont, and then it was the turn of 22 seeded Croatian Donna Vekic losing to 102 ranked unseeded player from Spain, Cristina Boxa. And then it was 15 seeded Diane Snyder of Russia losing to Diana Perry, the unseeded player, the 118 ranked player from France. And then it was the turn of 21 ranked Haddad Maia of Brazil losing to 110 ranked unseeded player from Hungary, Dalma Galfi. And then later on it was the turn of 31 ranked American Kruger, that is Ashlyn Kruger, losing to 50th ranked unseeded Russian veteran Pavlyuchenkova. Now here I have to talk a little about the American players. What is it the American seeded players got to do with this Wimbledon, one doesn't know, but they have been losing left, right, center in the opening rounds itself. Coco Gauff, Jessica Pegula, Frances Tiafoe, Ashlyn Kruger, and the list goes on, Alex Michelson, and so many seeded players have lost. That leaves only Taylor Fritz and Madison Keys among the seeded players who have some realistic chance of giving a challenge for the trophy. Remaining, other than that, the rest of them have all lost. And now talking about the number 5 seed Taylor Fritz, he could have been the 9th seeded player to lose yesterday. He had another massive scare against 40th ranked unseeded Canadian Gabriel Diallo. Finally, he managed to win in 5 marathon sets. This is the second consecutive match, both in first round and second round. He has been facing severe challenge and have been facing real scare, and he had managed to somehow survive by playing 5-set marathon matches. Yes, it is good for his self-belief, but one doesn't know how it would be for his mental and physical well-being, because playing under that hot and humid conditions at Wimbledon and playing 5-set marathons in the opening 2 rounds, one doesn't know how it would affect him if he advances to the second week. So yes, it could have been easily a 9th seed to lose if Taylor Fritz had not survived, but somehow he managed to survive and is now alive to see another day. But that doesn't end the scare for the seeded players, because Felix Aliassime of Canada, the number 25 seed, is still facing a big duel against Leonard Struff, the unseeded German, the 125 ranked, because after winning the first set, Aliassime lost the second set in tiebreak, and they have shared the first 2 sets, and the day had to go over because it was getting too late. Now the match would be resumed today, so one has to wait and see whether another seed tumbles out or whether Aliassime manages to do like what Fritz did and survive. And remember, the second round matches have been just over partially. Today's date also is reserved for the second round matches, so we are still to see how many of the remaining 11 seeds survive to play the third round. So it has been a nightmare for seeded players and especially for American seeded players in this Wimbledon Championship. We have to see how fourth day has in store for the seeded players. We can only find out after the day is over. Thank you.